And she's got to go get in her big black taxpayer-funded SUV.
Taxpayer funded. She don't like that.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have transparency in the government. Why do you deserve a big black taxpayer-funded SUV? Is that why you're so against Doge? Is that what the problem is? What's up with the lack of transparency in your... What's the problem with transparency?
I like the fact that he's bringing that up. So since Trump in office, we've been hearing the Republican Party talk a lot about transparency, how we're being transparent to let everybody see what was going on. And we know this lady was one of the people who was at the Department of Education trying to get in, like, move out the way.
That's Maxine Waters.
Yeah, move out the way. Let us in. You wanted to go in there and ask questions, but it looked like somebody want to ask you some questions and you don't want to answer them. And you was mad that the Department of Education didn't want to answer your questions.
Yeah.
When you didn't even have an appointment to be there.
Well, it looked like she hitting him with the old school. It's a time and a place for conversation, and this ain't the place or the time.
We could have a conversation on your way to the car. You could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. You could walk to your car and just answer the question.
Yes,
it's not a
can.
difficult question at all
Yes,
to
you
answer.
Who the fuck are you? Why are you pushing?
Oh. My man's trying to ask questions. He got to get pushed.
He's
doing too much probing, I guess.
too close. Too close.
Why do you get to have that tax-paying car? Is this why you don't want Elon doing what he's doing when they already found tens of billions of dollars out here that we could call fraud, we could miss payments, however you want to label it, that happened?
Yeah, that's why I say you gotta let Elon do his job.
Yeah,
you gotta let him do his job. I mean, if it was one of those, if it's a situation where he can't be trusted, or you know what I mean, he'd start doing funny stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening right now.
Yeah, at all.
What's happening? He is shaking the hell out the tree.
Yes.
And shit is falling.
Shit is falling out everywhere.
Everywhere. That we didn't even know was there.
At all.
Dead people getting checked.
This is crazy.
What is the problem with Doge? What is the problem with...
What's the problem? Dang.
Well, security handle that, I guess.
That is wild.
Jim Acosta writing an entire book about Trump's attack on the free press. Had you ever seen a single instance where anybody laid a hand on Jim Acosta? Accosted Acosta?
I was about to say accosted. He's funny.
Now that he brought that up, I don't ever remember time somebody asking Trump a question and him not answering it. I don't remember it.
You know what? That's a powerful statement, because that's the one thing about him. He will speak.
He'll answer the questions.
He'll answer to the best of his ability.
Nothing to hide. Transparency. With transparency, you build trust.
No. In fact, I have clips that can show you that Jim Acosta accosted White House staff members. We actually have the footage. This is weaponized autism, ladies and gentlemen. I know the producers are grabbing it right now. This is the footage is 7 years old, but Jim Acosta actually fighting and physically fighting with White House staffers, pushing and punching at them.
It's crazy.
It's the opposite of what they say.
Yeah.
Bizarro world. But there, I can just show you a clip of an independent journalist getting assaulted by the security
it's crazy.
Of a top-ranking, very famous Democrat member of Congress.
Yes.
Why is this not national news? It's gone viral on X. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is Elizabeth Warren and her staff doing the exact same thing, except for this time it was Elizabeth Warren giving the elbow to the journalist. We have it on tape. Here we go.
The shutdown.
Got the tape.
Senator Warren, why are you so afraid of transparency? Why are you bothered by the fact that Elon Musk is attempting to expose all of this fraudulent spending? What is that about? What is the problem here? What is the problem with transparency? Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Senator Warren, I just want to answer a question. How did you get a $12 million net worth on a $200,000 salary in Congress? How did you do that?
We want to know, how did you get that? Actually, right there he said 12 million, but it came out later. It's actually, she worth 20 million.
Yeah.
So if you're getting $200,000 a year for your services, how are you have $20 million?
What are you doing? What are you doing? It's a hell of an investor.
And then it looks like the same thing that we were saying earlier. This is why they have a problem with Donald Trump and Elon Musk doing what they're doing with the Doge, going through everything line by line, because you're going to know where that 20 million came from.
Whatever is done in the dark
will come to the light.
Come to the light.
Facts.
that?
Excuse me.
How did you do that?
Excuse
You can keep
me.
trying to block my camera. We're on a public sidewalk, so get off of me.
He said, "Get off of me."
So you don't want to answer that question? What is it about Doge that's such a problem to you? You just elbowed me, Senator. I got that on camera.
She hit him with the elbow.
Gave him a little stiffy.
She got me slick with it too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
I was just turning a corner.
yeah, you know, nothing hurt worse than them people don't got that much meat on their bones, their elbow.
Yeah.
you feel all that
feel
bone.
it.
That question, what is it about Doge that's such a problem to you? You just elbowed me, Senator. I got that on camera.
Oh, me a check.
Thank you.
I need part of that
Transparency
20
is your
million.
enemy.
It's just crazy to see that footage because yesterday we sent a video of her talking about Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump, you said you was bringing down groceries at day one. And we like, y'all messing it up. Y'all made groceries that high, not Donald Trump.
Wild work.
Now you asking him, well, why didn't you clean up the mess we made already?
Where your extra bread coming from? Where's this money
Yeah.
being funneled to you from?
Yeah, you so worried about what Trump got going on. We're worried about what you got going on.
You're definitely not moonlighting.
Yeah.
You ain't working all the job.
Must have some great investments.
Nick Sotor, independent journalist, just got tomahawk chopped
Yeah.
by Pocahontas. Here's another angle of it.
Another
You can see
angle.
here the senator literally taking her sharp elbows and jamming it
Ooh, right in the stomach.
against the camera. So there's multiple times in the same day
You got
that this
assaulted.
independent journalist was shoved or stopped from reporting the news, asking questions of elected officials. This is an assault on democracy. It's a constitutional crisis.
That's an assault on democracy, and that's an assault on an independent reporter.
Yeah, we see it.
We seen it clear as day with the first angle. You could see a little bit. The second angle we play right there, you could really see what's going on.
You can't touch people.
And the question is, why when people ask the Democrats for transparency, they must get insulted just because they asking for transparency?
Yeah, I mean, you could have chose the avenue that you did where you just didn't answer anything.
Yeah.
You don't got to put your hands on nobody.
Nah, not at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is the journalist who was brave enough to stand in the face of these Democrats and ask questions like, here's a good one. How did you become worth $22 million
Yeah.
on a taxpayer-funded salary that's $147,000 a year?
That math ain't
And that's
mathing.
before taxes.
That's
This is
before
all
taxes.
Nick was trying to
so that's not
ask
even what you bringing home.
Elizabeth Warren, and he got tomahawk chopped.
It's crazy.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, I'm not sure from the hospital or
From the hospital.
or the emergency room, but
Right.
we'll see, is the great independent journalist Nick Sotor.
It's crazy. I can't wait to see what he got to say about this.
Yeah, I'm looking into this.
Nick, what's up, brother? Well done. It still confounds me that this isn't the #1 news story in the world right now.
Wow.
You were assaulted multiple times by Democrat staffers, and they just can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing new here, Benny. I mean, they for whatever reason, they're not used to reporters asking them tough questions
Right.
and actually, pressing them.
Yeah.
They're called the press, but they don't do any press.
Right.
They don't put any pressure on the Democrats ever. And we saw this a similar situation on Maui when the mayor's people were pushing up on me.
That's a great point that he made. You never see the press really pressing the Democrats. Even with the video we seen, all of Kamala Harris interviews, they was all softball questions. There wasn't actually any hard, tough, challenging questions. And even when they did that, they had to edit the footage because the statements she was making just was a bunch of word salad.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you have to ask those tough questions.
You have to.
And then when's the right time?
When am I ever going to see
When am
you
I
again?
going to see? Yeah, I'm going to ask you right now.
Because I don't know when or if I'm ever going to see you again.
And I got put in a headlock by
Damn.
one of his people just
Damn.
for asking about
Damn.
the numbers
Put him in a headlock.
of people that were missing in debt out there. And in this situation, you see me asking Elizabeth Warren about her net worth. I feel like that's a very, very fair question.
Great question.
And it seems to me that one of the reasons that they're scared of this transparency is because it's going to reveal how she ended up with a $12 million minimum net worth on a $174,000 salary. I mean, look, man, I'm not a mathematician, but the math ain't math.
Math ain't
The math ain't math.
I've again seen Jim Acosta, here's video of Jim Acosta at the White House accosting a White House staffer. This guy built his entire career off of saying that there's an attack on the press.
Yeah.
And in the time span of like 2 hours, you had your camera shoved. I believe that's what happened with Maxine Waters. So, a member of her security punched over your camera and blocked your shot. And then you had a very well-known Democrat senator who was running for president just a few years ago.
Wow.
Elbow you in the side.
It's wild.
This seems to be grounds, I think, for a larger national conversation about the goons these people actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Benny, what you can't tell from the video is because when Maxine Waters staffer, well, first of all, I'll tell you real quick, it is not easy to ask questions and think very well and think through these things when you're being shoved and grabbed. And, I had actually Ayanna.
That's a great point. Like when the press get to ask their questions, the people are standing up on the podium, you get to think about the question, you get to ask
Absolutely.
It's a lot harder to ask
different
a
in the
question
field.
when you're getting pushed, you're getting elbowed.
You're trying to keep up, you're trying to watch traffic,
you're trying to
people are circling you. You don't know if they're going to try to grab you up.
Yeah.
Because that's really what he's dealing with.
Yeah.
We're just going to get him up out of here. Yeah. Like, no, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Presley's goon squad grabbed me by my jacket and picked me up. I haven't even posted that video yet, Benny. It gets worse. But
it gets worse.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he grabbed you up. He just told you they really grabbed me up.
It gets worse. I can't wait to see that footage.
Pick me up. I haven't even posted that video yet, Benny. It gets worse. But asking her those questions, and they tried to literally take my phone. I had to fight to get my phone back from them. It's like because I was recording like this, and they grabbed it and started pulling it out of my hands, literally trying to take my phone. This is after they attempted to steal my AirPods. They pulled my AirPod out of my ear. This one of the Elizabeth Warren people. And then ran away and hid it somewhere. I ended up being able to find it with the Find My iPhone app. She grabbed it, and threw it, and then chased me down and said that I assaulted her and was stealing her AirPods, even though she had literally stolen my AirPods. These people are...
You have me assaulted.
Yeah.
And then say I assaulted you.
You throw my device and say it was yours.
This is like...
Trying to get a quick reaction. Like, that's all... It's wild.
We only been covering this stuff like a week. The stuff we just been seeing already is like unbelievable. Like all this stuff is actually.
Because what do you think? What do you think the response to security is if she says, "He threw my AirPods"?
They on him.
They about to handle him.
That's like saying he assaulted you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her and was stealing her AirPods, even though she had literally stolen my AirPods. These people are crazy. They're mentally ill. They don't have any answers. And that includes these senators and Congress people at this point. Maxine Waters is easily one of the dumbest members of Congress. Can't answer simple questions. Doesn't want voter ID, but demands ID from a poor staffer from outside the Department of Education who's doing his job and not letting her raid the place. They're hypocrites.
That's a hell of a point. We seen the video when she was asking for your ID, let me see your badge, but you were the main one that don't want voter ID. You want people just to be able to come up there and place votes with no IDs.
Yeah, and then we have these crazy numbers, just like they were sending dead checks.
Yeah,
checks to dead people.
Yeah,
same type thing.
People 150 years old,
150 years old, still getting checks.
What's the chances of that they still living?
They're not particularly bright, and they can't answer questions. That's why they don't. They're incapable of doing so. It's as simple as that.
They're not incapable of answering questions. They just don't want to tell the truth because they know it's going to implicate them in what they've been doing.
And that's why they're incapable of answering questions.
This is nothing compared to what Republicans have to deal with every single day on Capitol Hill. So Republicans, members of Congress, are constantly barraged by reporters who chase them into elevators, who harass them, who are funded by USAID in order to make their lives a living hell. And all you're doing is turning the tables and simply asking legitimate questions.
Yeah, the people want to know.
This is a huge question. How did they all get so rich?
Facts.
Maxine Waters was named the most corrupt member of Congress. Elizabeth Warren is worth tens of millions of dollars. Nobody can figure out exactly why. So it seems completely and totally legitimate. Yet you're assaulted for this. There's new sheriff in town. Nick. Ed Martin is the new D.C. district attorney appointed by President Trump. Have you considered reaching out to potentially file charges for assault against these Democrat members and their staff?
No, I think somebody definitely has to, but the issue that we have here is that I would have to go, as far as I'm aware, to the D.C. district attorney. The district of, the city of Washington, D.C. would have to be the ones to bring assault charges against these people. And the chances, there's not a snowball chance
good luck with that.
Would ever happen. There's a clear double standard here in Washington, D.C. But, Ed Martin's a good guy. He might just reach out and we'll just see. We'll see what happens.
He's only tell you now.
Well, it happened, the way that it works is it's his jurisdiction because it happened on federal property, and this is how they were able, the D.C. district attorney can charge anything that happens in Washington, D.C., and you were in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
So,
that's what I'll do right after this then.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Why not?
We're getting places here on the Benny Show, man.
Don't take legal advice, but I'm telling you, this shouldn't be tolerated. You have a right. You have a right protected under the First Amendment to simply ask questions. And you weren't being violent, right? You weren't pushing or you weren't pushing or fighting anyone or punching anyone. They were punching.
No, I was the one taking the punches
and taking all the
pushes. That was me. I wasn't blocking anybody. I wasn't. I'm not getting in their paths. I'm
letting them walk.
Simply trying to get an answer to a question. There's no aggression. The only aggression there is asking aggressive questions that they don't like.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. Ayanna Presley, you're talking about the FEMA situation. I asked her directly in a video that I'm about to post. I asked her if she condoned FEMA sending $59 million to house illegals in New York City while people in Western North Carolina have been living in tents for the past 4 months. And I got the death stare of a lifetime. It was like a ghetto death stare, Benny. You're going to see. I've never gotten that look from a...
It makes sense that you would get a death stare because that makes zero sense. People that have been paying taxes all their life, living here, they got to live in tents while these people are in the best hotels. We did a video of it earlier that they getting twice as much as they supposed to be getting paid for the rooms.
Right.
Every room is filled up.
It's called capacity. Not taking care of home. It's called not taking care of home.
Or
first.
It's called not putting America first.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see. Americans being put first.
Yes, this is the homeland. You need to take care of home first. It's unacceptable.
Yes, definitely unacceptable. We definitely keep an eye on this. Before we get out this video, if you didn't like, subscribe, leave a comment. Make sure you do that. Until our next video, it's Tremaine Jones.
And it's Lamar Wilson.
And we out.